Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, I'm GC Smith, and welcome to a Magic the Gathering video. And boy, it's been amazing since I've done one of these. I'm really upset with myself, actually, I've let it get so long. But there are multitudes of good reasons why, mixture of real life issues, as well as getting a new job that gives me very limited time to entertain myself, let alone make any videos. So it is hard to find the time to not only plan a video, but also film and edit it. But hopefully this video will get out there to you guys relatively soon after me filming it, or recording it, sorry, because today we're going to be talking about my top 5 cards I'm looking forward to leaving with the release of Kaladesh. So for those of you who aren't aware, when Kaladesh is released as a set, Standard will be rotating, and what's going to be rotating out is Dragons of Tarkir and Magic Origins, the last two sets currently in Standard in terms of age, so the oldest two, sorry, probably a better grammatical wording of it. And there are quite a few cards I'm really looking forward to seeing disappear. So without too much lollygagging, let's get straight to the top 5. In at number 5 is the Painlands, and boy, I'm looking forward to these leaving. Not one of them, actually. One of them I'm really sad is going to be leaving. I really am going to miss Caves of Coilus, because I run it in my black-white control deck as a way to, you know, make sure I'm hitting black and white early on in a way that doesn't ruin too much tempo. But as a whole, I'm really looking forward for them rotating. And that's actually quite surprising for me, because I never thought I'd be in a position where I thought the Painlands shouldn't be in Standard. But really, at the moment, I think that maybe they're a bit too powerful in some decks, or at least I'm so annoyed of seeing them in my friend's Temerge deck, the Temur Emerge deck. Simply because, well, they're Tri-lands in his deck, and I don't know many decks that get access to untapped Tri-lands on turn 1 and 2. And for those of you saying, oh, how can they be Tri-lands, only provide 2 colour? Well, he has a lot of colourless sources. Maybe not in his main board so much, but he definitely has it in his sideboard. And so it enables a lot of interesting shenanigans he wouldn't be able to do without the Painlands in his deck. At least he would actually have to think about his mana a lot more. And that's one of the reasons I'm looking forward to them rotating. Not so much they came in untapped, that wasn't an issue, you paid the life for that. But I do think that the fact that they make deck building really easy in terms of there's no real need to think about what you're putting in your deck and how, that's what I don't like about them. And so if it means getting rid of them means they have to think about what they're putting in their deck, then I'm all for the Painlands rotating out of Standard. In at number 4 is a card I never thought I'd be saying I can't wait to leave Standard, but I am, really, and that's Jaces Prodigy. And there are actually 2 main reasons why I can't wait for this to leave Standard. One, it's stopped me building a competitive control deck at a period of time, not because it's bad for control, obviously it's amazing, but its sheer price meant I just couldn't build the control decks I wanted to build, most namely Esper Dragons during the height of its power. I just couldn't afford to build it, and as a result I just couldn't afford to build a good control deck. Now I am playing black-white control at the moment. I've mostly got that deck. There's still a few more expensive pieces I'm missing, but it's functional enough for an FNM. But I couldn't even get to that level simply due to everyone else in my shop having Jaces Prodigy in their various decks, which meant I was really far behind in terms of value if I didn't run it. The other reason I'm looking forward to it leaving is simply because of the lame excuses Wizards keep giving as to why Jaces Prodigy meant they couldn't print more instants and sorceries. Apparently, people would abuse it, and I would agree. People might be able to abuse some instants and sorceries that weren't meant to be flashed back easily, but should be possible to do so in older formats. But that argument doesn't make any sense when Collected Company repeatedly got more and more free drops printed that were relevant for it. You can only say, oh, we don't want Jace flashing back instant sorcery so much, before you realise they just kept adding value to cards like Collected Company, and you realise it's not that they don't want Jace flashing back instants and sorceries, it's they don't want instants or sorceries to beat creatures, which is fine occasionally, but no, I just didn't like that. So the fact that if Jace going allows them to print some more powerful instants or sorceries, because they don't need to worry about him flashing them back, then I'm all for him rotating as well. In at number 3 is Demonic Pact, and I'm really going to be sad to see this go, simply for no other reason than I never got to saw at an FNM level at my store someone playing the black-red Demonic Pact Harmless Offering deck never got to see it. And I don't have the cards to build it, and there's no way when it's rotating in about 2 weeks that I'm going to go out of my way to try and build a deck that's going to rotate that soon. If I can borrow the cards maybe for this week's F&M, maybe I'll take it, but yeah, probably not so soon. In at number 2 is a card I think a lot of people are really looking forward to seeing rotate, and there is a lot of reasons for this, and that's Dromoka's Command. A green-white spell, which is effectively a removal spell in any green-white based creatures deck, that also made the entire enchantment subtype basically, or enchantment supertype, sorry, basically useless or pointless. It was really, really hard, if not annoying, to actually play cards like Stasis Snare and stuff, the cards that you should be able to play in Control, because they gave you good instant speed ways to answer certain threats, simply due to the fact that if you ran them, then you're likely to lose that removal spell to your opponent's Dromoka's Command. It was just such an effective spell, and if it had been sorcery, or if it had been, didn't have the fight or something, it would have been fine, but just so many ways that card wrecked Standard open. It just did so many things at too cheap a cost, and it was just, yeah, it's a card I'm really looking forward to seeing rotate. And you might be able to guess my number 1 card I'm looking forward to seeing rotate. It is none other than Collected Company. Again, a card which I think did too much in Standard compared to what it was intended to do. I mean, they said that they never intended for it to be a standard playable card at all, and then went on to print nothing but great free drops for a while, so much so that 4 drops that were played were pretty much Planeswalkers or Kaladesh, and that's because Kaladesh is just so good, you don't care if it gets Reflector Maged, it's just too good not to run. But yeah, that was an issue, really, that you couldn't run the decks you wanted to in the way you wanted to, because you couldn't run creatures with CMC, greater than 3 half the time due to how good Collected Company was. It's such an oppressive deck, really. I mean, I don't mean that necessarily in a way that Collected Company should be banned. It's just, it's dominated the format in a way that no other deck has yet this Standard season, and hasn't for a while. Even Abzan didn't dominate the format as much as Bant Company is. I went to events and I knew I'd have to face Abzan, but most decks could beat Abzan on a good draw. I mean, when you're on the good draw, not when the Abzan deck's on the good draw. But Collected Company is a far harder thing to beat, because most of the times I played against it, it wasn't about winning in certain ways. So it wasn't about you having better draws than they were. It was about them having really bad draws where they didn't flip anything over, and that's how you beat Collected Company. So on a whole, I'm really looking forward to that spell to rotate. So yeah, that's my top 5 cards I'm looking forward to rotating from Kaladesh. I am going to be doing another 2 top 5s, I think. One of the cards I'm going to miss most, and one of the cards I'm looking forward to the most. But yeah, what are your cards you want to see rotate the most in Kaladesh release? So, I mean, what cards do you least like seeing in Standard? Let me know. And I look forward to seeing all your responses. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.